Welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. How's everybody doing? Didn't really look at the market too much today, so a lot of what we're going to be talking about is going to be like my first reaction or my live reaction to just how today went. From what I see already, looks like we had a nice little green day during market hours, big pullback on a lot of names, especially in tech after hours. Very low volume day, which is very interesting because Friday was quite the opposite. Friday we had a very large sell-off in the morning session, and then we had a very big rally towards the end of the day. Friday, as you can see on the volume over here, was one of the highest volume days in a long time, since like over here in the beginning of May. And today was one of the lowest volume days, like, I don't know, maybe since middle of April, like over a month ago or something. I don't know the exact numbers, but we're seeing some weird stuff going on with the volume in the market right now. So we'll see what that all turns into. We're going to come back to stocks. Let me start off with crypto. But yeah, drop a like on your way in. All right, cool. So Bitcoin, still the same, still just testing this major zone. We're just going to keep skipping over it until it makes some sort of reaction that holds for a few days. Like if we like literally just look at it, all it's done in the past week is go sideways. It's pretty frustrating, honestly, if you're owning crypto right now. Just no action whatsoever for both sides, for bears and for bulls. So that's really where you're at with Bitcoin. Moving on to Ethereum, quite the same, I'm sure. Yeah, just kind of broke down from this support zone, this blue zone over here. You retested it, flipped it into resistance, and now you're just going sideways. So just not really seeing much there. And then finally, the crypto alert from the Discord, Dogecoin. It bounced up all the way back up to the entry today, or almost to the entry. You could see over here, and then it fell back down. So that's a little bit unfortunate. If we go back to that 1 hour chart, I know we were looking at this wedge. It looked like it kind of broke out and did like really nothing, and now it's dumping again. So hopefully you can just hold this little support area around 8 cents. All right. And then moving on to other markets before we get into the overall stock market, starting off with crude oil futures sideways, just a lot of sideways in the market. And it's going to be interesting because I'm sure a lot of these charts are going to be very different by the end of the week. We have FOMC minutes on Wednesday. On Wednesday at 2 o'clock, we have FOMC meeting minutes. That's going to be huge. And then literally the next morning, Thursday morning at 8:30, we have GDP quarter over quarter. So, and that's all leading into, it looks like, a 3-day weekend for Memorial Day. So the second half of this week is going to be absolutely crazy. Today, tomorrow, maybe even Wednesday morning, you might just see a lot of choppiness, a lot of indecision, because I'm sure just so much big money is just waiting on those numbers and the minutes as well. So we'll see how all that kind of comes into play towards the end of the week. For now, we're just going to stick to the charts and do what we can with what we currently have on the charts. So that's crude oil going flat. Moving on to metals. Gold is continuing higher after confirming the classic bullish divergence and reclaiming the 200-day moving average. It's kind of like a nice little AVCT formation. I don't know if it's anything textbook. Doesn't look like it. But you're getting a nice little reaction after that weird M shape. And then moving on to silver, it's still just testing this support area, this blue zone that's held. It broke it for a little bit, but now it's just testing it again. The dollar currency index, don't be surprised, all right? Don't be surprised. We talked about the bearish candles up here. We talked about the classic bearish divergence, the 4-hour rising wedge. All of that's playing out. At this point, I'd probably extend this 4-hour descending broadening wedge. And the next support I see is down around 101, so we'll see if it can drop that much. Yeah, nice that you also broke this low over here. And then moving on to China, the Hang Seng Index is not doing much. It's still just a lot of indecision. So with all that, it's just kind of apart from equities. I mean, even kind of in equities, I just feel like so many people, and kind of myself, at least in the short term, are just very confused. There's just so many different potentials for this market, both short term and long term. I still am sticking to my thesis from last week. I still think there's a lot of nice mid-cap and growth stock names that are down quite a bit. But again, I've been saying for months, like I've been saying the same thing for months, but I also have been saying it's going to take months. So, I don't think all these names are done selling off. I do think you're starting to see certain names, randomly pop, like something like Zoom, which has been nonstop selling off, can finally get a good move on some earnings news. And then I don't know what happened after hours because Snap fell. I don't know if that brought down Zoom, but we're going to look at both of them in a little bit. But yeah, moving over to the S&P and everything and just the overall market, we got like this I don't think it's a textbook bullish pin bar, but it's very close to a bullish pin bar. You can definitely see we had a nice little lower wick on Friday. If we go back to the price action from Friday, you can see that we had a very, very big rally in the final hour of the day. So you kind of sold off on Friday, and then you just started consolidating, you broke out, and then you had this big rally into the close. There's even like a wedge right over here. If you're in the Discord, I shared this literally with all of you on Friday on this exact candle, this breakout candle right here. And it played out very nicely, and then that also led into a gap up this morning, a very strong day. I think there was even this, which I saw a lot of people trading this intraday. It was just like no volume. A lot of people, I think, try to play this breakdown of this demand line over here, and into the close, it didn't really, some people might have actually gotten stopped out. And then maybe for those who overnighted puts, if we go over to extended hours, maybe it works out. We'll see though, we'll see. So that was kind of your intraday price action from Friday and today. All of that kind of turned into close to a bullish pin bar with some follow through today, but again, you are losing those gains a little bit after hours. And then moving to the 4 hour, you're actually very close to retesting the supply line for the 4th time. And here's what's worrying to me right now about the S&P, and it's already started pulling back after hours, right? You'd have to like readjust like this. You already have that pullback after hours, but what's a little bit scary to me regardless is the fact that we're getting back up towards this supply line. We're still at a lower high and the volume is decreasing, okay? We've seen this supply line be tested with low volume multiple times. Over here was actually kind of high volume, so that didn't really matter. And then, I mean, just the first time over here, volume was low, so I don't know. I'd like to at least see some sort of volume if we're going to be testing that, but I do have somewhat of a game plan, all right, going into tomorrow. And I'd say, all right, let me put it like this. Now, can you be surprised with what I'm about to say? Not financial advice, but here's what I'm looking at, or how I'm looking at the market intraday for tomorrow, just from a technical standpoint. And again, this is all pending a potential gap up, gap down. Who knows how we're going to open, but let's just say somehow we open flat, all right? There's going to be 2 key levels I'm going to be watching. We're going to go to the 15-minute chart first. On the SPY, I'm not too interested in playing calls intraday tomorrow, okay? You have a little level over here. Getting above today's high could be good, but the issue for the SPY is it led today. It was actually the leader amongst most of the indices. It was up almost 2%. The QQQ and the NASDAQ were only up like 1.6%. The Russell was up 1.2%, right? So it already had a nice like day leading to start the week. But the thing is, even if it can take out these highs, you got resistance right above you on the S&P. Right over here is resistance, okay, around 399, and just 400 is a very psychological level. So if we do see bullish intraday price action tomorrow morning, I'm mainly not going to be looking at the S&P. I'm going to be looking at the NASDAQ and the QQQ. Now, the thing about these is they've gotten crushed after hours, so they don't look like this anymore. If we go to after hours, it looks like this. It's already heavily rejected it. We're just somehow assuming we somehow open flat. If we can crack this resistance level intraday, I'm probably going to like call us better on QQQ than SPY, because you just have a longer way up to resistance, right, from these lows. And then even more so, there's a gap all the way at 305. You might need some news to get up there, but this is just, a very, very interesting formation. You've been testing this since the 19th of May, and you failed to break it. So if somehow, even if we were to gap down and then maybe later on in the day we rally back up and we're able to break above it, you see my alert is already set. I'm already ready, right? But if you never get the trigger above that level, then that's just completely invalidated. So let's say we can't break these resistance levels on the NASDAQ and the QQQ. Then instead of playing puts on the NASDAQ and QQQ, I'm going over to the SPY. So I prefer the QQQ and the NASDAQ for calls if we break out tomorrow. But if we can't break out tomorrow, I prefer the SPY for puts. And the main reason for that is this gap fill over here, okay? Got the gap up from today. This is going to be a key level. If we kind of take out this low over here, which was also this high over here, if we take out those 2 levels, then I'm going to be looking for maybe a potential put trade in this area. So just to reiterate, if we break down and we gap down and we can't really find any support, this is like the put trade area I'm looking for, and then maybe even leaving a runner if this level breaks. And then if we break out over here, I'm actually heading over to the QQQ and the NASDAQ, because this looks like a much cleaner breakout, which I think a lot more people are going to be paying attention to rather than the S&P's smaller level. All right, so that's my intraday plan for tomorrow, just very roughly. Again, I have to see what the candles look like and the volume and the news. So those are just lower time frames. Moving over to the QQQ on higher time frames, you're still under the very important blue zone. This looks a lot cleaner. Your candle from Friday looks a lot cleaner than it does on the S&P. This, you still have that upper wick over here on the QQQ. I mean, this is pretty much a textbook bullish pin bar. I think the body is small enough, but yeah, pretty good candles on the daily. I mean, if you're just going off of candle bodies, it's very similar to a double bottom. I mean, we were talking about that dragon formation earlier. I think I still have it on my SPY. Maybe it's on the 1 hour. Yeah. So you still have like the potential for that. It's just a lower low dragon, and you have yet to break a neckline or a supply line, which again might be hard if you can't find any volume. And then moving on to small caps, Russell 2000. Very nice to see it not only fill the gap that we were talking about, but bounce off this blue zone again on Friday and hold gains today. So again, just want to see it hold above that blue zone. The ARK ETF was really lagging in the morning, and then it kind of caught up a little bit. Still closed red today. And what has it been doing? And not only the ARK ETF, but take a look at this. All right, so these are two other just separate things apart from the S&P and everything that I'm still keeping an eye on. I actually need to set alerts for this. The ARK has been going sideways for a week now. All right, for more than a week now. So this is going to be interesting. So literally, I'm going to be setting an upside alert around 44.50, and then a downside alert probably around 40.50-ish. Again, I'm going to see those intraday technicals, but keep an eye on that. And then another stock that I saw had a interesting range, I actually tweeted this out earlier, was Coinbase. Very, very similar to the ARK ETF. I already have my alert set up here. So those are just two ranges you can keep an eye on. Yeah, that's the overall market coverage. I think I just want to see how we react to those levels I brought up on the 5-minute chart tomorrow, and we'll see what that kind of turns into. So now, what affected the market? What led the market to having a really green day? Of course, there's so many different moving parts, but what were some major contributors? Well, we're going to start off with Apple. All right, up 4% today. It was kind of under everything. All right, it was under this green trend line over here. It was under this key 139 level from all of these highs and lows. And then today, it was able to rally. Bids came in, and you got back above a very critical support level, not just for Apple, but for the whole market. All right. Very, really, really interesting price action. Let me go down to lower time frames. Take a look at this little 1 hour wedge. And again, after hours, that kind of got screwed up. But we'll see what it looks like during market hours tomorrow. I was watching Apple like earlier last week. All of that got invalidated. But Apple, very big day, up 4%. But on the flip side, we had Snapchat after hours. Snap expects to miss its quarterly revenue targets. The company said in a filing on Monday, and will slow hiring for this year. CEO, chief executive, told employees, the parent company of photo messaging app Snapchat, so economic conditions have deteriorated further and faster than anticipated. Yeah, so it fell like 30% after hours. It brought down a lot of names. Facebook was down. There's a lot of different like social media tech names, the QQQ in general. A lot of names getting crushed after hours. On this news, if we go to extended hours, we can see the move that took place after hours. Really big drop over here. It's at 1551. So let's go back to the daily. Let's put a line there. All right. Right around that white line is where it's currently at, and it's actually not too far away from a gap fill at $13 almost, a little bit above 13. But yeah, big drop on Snap. Pretty much went from here down to this white line after hours. So you have that. Another big mover after hours was Zoom. I don't know if it held gains though, but it did hit the first target of the swing. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, thankfully there was a first target right there, but 1 second. All right, so yeah, Zoom earnings hit first target. In the Discord, follow me on Twitter. I pinged all of you, and yeah, this is the second to last swing trade I alerted. The other one was QS, I think on like Thursday maybe last week, and 15% profit on Zoom in just a few days. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully you had your alert set. And speaking of the swings, we can just run through them right now. We'll start with Zoom either way. Let's just say it opens flat tomorrow. Like the after hours gains did nothing, and it just opens flat. You're still testing a breakout. On the daily, you still have a MACD crossover. There really isn't any technical change. For Zoom, it was just a nice move on earnings. Moving over to GameStop, this is pretty much flat. You've almost got hidden bullish divergence confirmed. You're breaking out. You're back testing the breakout after double bottoming. These are the times where you don't have a certainty that this asset is going to go up next, but you have a pretty nice reward to risk, okay? The support is very clearly just beneath you or below you, and there's not much resistance that's close to you, okay? So that's GameStop, flat day for it. US pulled back a couple percent today. This is still holding a very key level. It's, you can see, very similar to the ARK ETF and Coinbase we were talking about before. There is a nice group of stocks that have literally just gone sideways for the past week. This is one of them. It's just been in a range between 1130 and 1250, 1260. So it was able to bounce off support again today. MACD is moving back towards green. Really no technical change. These are all much longer term wedges that I'm looking at over here. So yeah, another flat name today, Fisker. Nothing has really changed on the daily. This kind of was a bearish engulfing candle on Friday though. On the 4 hour, you're just kind of consolidating. 1 hour, same thing. Just a little bit of short-term indecision for Fisker. I mean, this could be looked at just one big flag that it's already kind of breaking out of, right? This is your bull pull, bull flag, and now you're testing a breakout. We'll see if you get the price action tomorrow. It might just depend on the overall market. And then CLOV was up like 1/3% today. This is completely flat, and well, the swing is completely flat, and it was flat today. Just another name, and it's actually interesting. This actually took out lows over here, and was able to bounce back up. So you see it was going sideways, kind of holding in between this, and then it kind of had an intraday breakdown, but then it was just bought right up, which is actually really interesting to see. And then that's still very clearly outside of this down sloping channel. Just hasn't been able to, you see I have this alert set over here, just hasn't been able to crack this little 288 level. Maybe just of 3 could be a good sign, just psychologically. See what happens. So yeah, those are the ongoing swings. Lucid, it was flat today. Friday was just a mess. I mean, a crazy sell-off in the morning, a crazy one in the afternoon. So basically, I think I already deleted it, but the Lucid swing, basically the target was like right here. It's literally set right here. Let's see what the target was pretty much. It was like 20.25, and Lucid went up to $20. And the entry was somewhere probably over here. Lucid pretty much went up like 15% after I alerted it, and it was 1% away from the target we were talking about on Thursday night. And then intraday on Friday, it was down like 12% or something, or like 11%. And there's a rule on the sheet, if something's up over 10%, it comes back down to entry. Most of the time I market break even. I just did that, but there really isn't much of a technical difference. I was just following the rules on the sheet. There's no longer an ongoing swing on it, but it's not that different. You still broke out of the wedge, so classic bullish divergence. It's still on my watch list, but just messy. I mean, all I have to do is go up 1 more percent and it could have been marked green. But yeah, there's that. And apart from that, not much. Very low volume day. It was a good day during market hours. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, just want to wait to see what those like economic numbers look like in the middle and the end of the week. That's what a lot of people are going to be waiting on. So for me, I'm probably not looking to overnight much until the end of this week, or maybe even then it might be very volatile. I'm just looking to look for intraday patterns, and probably just focusing more so on day trades. Obviously, there's a decent amount of swings, and they're holding up all right. They're not doing crazy good. They're not doing bad. They're definitely doing better than they were last month. But yeah, that's where we're currently at. That's the analysis pretty much for today. Let me read the chat for a second. Zeke says, I'm short-term bearish, overnighted NVIDIA puts. I don't know. Again, I mean, after hours, you're probably feeling good, and just for tech right now, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I'm keeping a very close eye on NVIDIA here. We'll see. But you can see this high over here. It's now kind of bounced twice around that level. At the same time, it's kind of showing, or is showing, classic bullish divergence, and it's broken out of this wedge and even back tested it. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I think it's just like, obviously, if you're a bear, you just want it to break these lows. If you're a bull, you just want it to hold those lows. VIX looks like it could bounce, says Zeke. It's at a support level. It's testing this little low from May 20th. We'll see what it does tomorrow. QQQ weekly RSI usually bounces after it reaches oversold, except in 2000. That's the lump or the guy. Keep hitting the like button if you just joined the stream. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. Yeah, so it looks like it just tapped oversold. Last time we did that was 08, and we all know what happened between 08 and right now. So that is very interesting for sure. Also, you're hitting 50% retraces on QQQ and the NASDAQ. The Russell already did. The SPY has not, though. The S&P has only achieved a 38% retrace. And we have something like the ARKK ETF, which has achieved almost a full retrace, almost 100% retrace from the COVID crash low to high. JJ says I missed the Fisker breakdown. You did. It was very quick. Fisker is just consolidating for right now. Maybe on like the lower time frames looks a little bit like a bull flag. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Kev in. There's a space between Kev and in. So Kev in says bought SPY puts for overnight. Fingers crossed. Right now futures are in your favor. We'll see what happens in the morning though. And then Kev in is looking at LEG as a long-term wedge. Yeah, if you want me to take a look at some takers, drop them in the chat. We can do taker requests now. I'm not looking at OTCs, and nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not looking at charts that are straight up or straight down. You said a long-term wedge? Yeah, I'd probably look at it like this, and it's maybe already breaking out. It's not only broken out, but already back tested it. I don't know if you're looking at something else, but yeah. Zeke saying looking more short term. Oh, it's like low time frames. Peloton. You're gonna have to give me a second, all right?
All the same.
All right. Peloton. Let's see. It's in a wedge right now. Showing the classic bullish divergence. I think it's all about this. All right. Trying to stay above these lows. If we zoom out, this has been absolutely destroyed. And yeah, these are the types of names, like, again, that I'm looking for. And some of them might not ever recover, but I'm just hoping that some of them do, and that's how the reward to risk game goes. Yeah, I'm looking at these areas for swings. You know, maybe I learned some swings in these areas, but they had 10% stops, not 90%, right? But it's in this wedge. Hopefully, can just hold these lows. You've got the classic bullish divergence. If we head over to the weekly, got a very nice hammer candle over here, and you just want to stay above the lows of that hammer candle. Okay, that's a very real candle on a weekly time frame with the highest volume since February. That's very, very interesting. Okay. Netflix. Really just in the middle of nowhere. I don't see any much of a technical edge on like really high time frames. Maybe you just look at this as like a wedge breakout, but it's just been going sideways really since it broke out. Keep hitting the like button if you didn't already. AMC. I don't know. It kind of like broke out of this wedge, but got this like shooting star candle, not really getting volume. It rejected a very key level on the 1 hour. I was watching this channel breakout, and it just couldn't hold above this blue zone. I want to see AMC back above that blue zone for me to be more confident in the short term. All right, not much I can do here. Probably look at it like this. That's literally it. And then love. It's not getting a lot of love from investors right now. I don't know. There's different ways you could view this as harmonics. It's kind of already broken the PCZ. Or a Gartley, it's too deep. And then for a bat, it's not anywhere close to a PCZ for a bat. If you look at it like this, it would have to drop down to 14 almost. So I probably just focus on levels for right now. And you're again in the middle of nowhere on this one, so just waiting to see when it can get closer to a level. I don't know. I can't talk. It's been a long weekend. Good weekend, but a long weekend. All right. CAT, I just look at this as like a range between 187 and 237, kind of in the middle of the range. Maybe you draw like a wedge here as well. That's really all I got. TDOC, I like this long-term wedge. Nettie said he had a TDOC visit and is never going to go back to walk-in clinics or whatever they're called. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that, the guy? Should we be trusting Mehdi about his opinions? But it does have some triple classic bullish divergence on the weekly. It's kind of at this like consolidation area from 2017. And it's also like that's where it kind of IPO'd, it seems. So, you know, apart from like this like 2-year period, like 2015 to 2017, this is technically a cheaper time. Well, by share price, I don't know if they've done any splits or anything that, or just offerings or whatnot. But just by how the chart looks, it's, you know, one of the cheapest times on this chart, you know, since it broke above these areas in 2018. So reward to risk is there. Again, I don't know what the valuation looks like from, you know, now compared to back over here, but just saying, a stock price is around the same areas. So that's TDOC. Got a clown emoji, and then the guy saying, I don't trust Mehdi. Yeah, so there's that. All right, so futures still red. NASDAQ futures down the most, down over 1%. S&P futures so a little bit over 0.5% red, and then Russell futures really not that changed after hours. So yeah, any other charts you all want me to look at? Make sure you join the Discord. The link is in the description. You get so much here. Check out the announcements. You get pinged every time I go live. Swing trade alerts. This Zoom that I alerted on the 19th has already hit its first target, like we talked about, 15% in just a few days. Crypto alerts, that Dogecoin trade I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. We got analyst ideas, which is Anna put something in it recently, but not much apart from that. The lump actually just shared. You always hear me talking about divergence this, divergence that. The lump actually shared or has been sharing a scanner of a bunch of stocks that are confirming both bullish and bearish classic and hidden divergences. There's premium, the link for that's in the description. There's going to be a workshop this weekend. I don't even know what the workshop's going to be about yet, honestly, but there's going to be a workshop this weekend. Members can vote right now on if they want it to be Saturday or Sunday. All these chats where you can meet 2,000 other traders in the Discord, and these bots. Undershot runs this harmonic bot. You always see me drawing these like Fibonacci triangle patterns, these harmonics. Here's a scanner for them. You got tradie ticks, options fan bot, interesting flow, news from Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, I think CNBC, and just all this education. This is all free, by the way. I mean, premium's not, but everything else that I've been showing you is free. So make sure you check all that. Oh, and of course the ETF simulator, which we've been outperforming the S&P in a very, very short time period, but there's that as well. Okay, so make sure you get all this. I don't even know what phrase to use, at your fingertips. Just get access to this by clicking the link in the description or discord.gg/free trading movement. Okay, see you there when I'm not streaming. Tesla, yeah, we can look at Tesla. Got very close to this 622 level, which was support in July of last year. I want to look at this on the weekly first. It broke a very key trend line, but it's already broken, so I'm going to delete that now. On the weekly, it looks like next support's like 550. But I want to do fibs. I'm going to start from over. It's very similar to the NASDAQ and the QQQ sitting right at its 50% retrace. Off this high over here, down over 40%. The 4 hour got quadruple classic bullish divergence. Reading that correctly. So just keep an eye, see if it can break the supply line or not. And I think just above 700 is a nice psychological level. It's also got this major low and these highs, so keep an eye on all of that. That is Tesla. Commando says thanks for the analysis. Thank you for watching, Commando. Jinx. Were you just saying Jinx? I thought you meant like a ticker. Not bearish, just confirmed, unconfirmed bullish divergence. Apologies, I sincerely apologize. AMPUSD just going sideways. It's very similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. There's just not really doing much. Long term, it's like kind of getting towards the end of this wedge, but not really at any historical levels. BBIG. It's just like spending time in this whole entire, like, let me delete all of this. All right, it just spends a lot of time here. It's been really spending time since March. It's been in between 350-ish and 220. Now, that's a pretty wide range for sure. It's just a little bit tough to do any like long-term stuff while it's just kind of within this. I mean, in general, you see all these arrows, they're there for a reason. Hopefully you can just stay above that level. And then AVCT, there's your wedge. That's literally all I can do. You've got some classic bullish divergence on the daily. And then Twitter. Filled a gap and got down to a level but didn't react at it. So now your next level is like $32. I just focus on levels. Sharp decrease in volume. And more short term, it's just in a little range between like 36 and 39. And then you do have some upside gap fills at 40 and 44, but also one to the downside around 34. All right, so yeah, it's probably gonna be it for tonight's stream. Thank you very much for watching the stream. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the links in the description. First link if you want to donate crypto to Ukraine, that'll take you to Twitter, and it takes you to their donation, or gives you their donation info for crypto. So check that out, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Sorry for just like meh vibes on stream tonight, but I don't know, I just didn't sleep a lot. So thank you for watching the stream. Hope you all have a good night. Shout out to Scrooge in the chat. Shout out to all of you. Timestamps will be up soon. Peace out.
Your